the Indians have surpassed the Reds as the favorite team of the majority of the state of Ohio.
That's interesting because just about everywhere I go outside of the Cleveland area, I mean, Columbus is Reds town. As much time as I spend down there,
even with the AAA, huh?
Yeah, it's hard to find. It's hard to find a lot of whole Tribe fans down in Columbus. They seem to just gravitate towards Cincinnati. And a lot of the Buckeye Beat guys are Reds fans, and a couple of them are from Northeast Ohio and pay attention to the Tribe. But the media people down in that market, it seems to be a kind of a Reds town, and so yeah, that's a little bit surprising to me because it's always seemed like the rest of the state outside of here just sort of gravitated that way.
Yeah, NBC Sports even ran with the story. I'm pulling it up here as we talk to see, like, I'm curious how big the sample size was on the poll that they did there because, sometimes you do those polls, but you talk to 500 people, so you get a really small sample size here. Let's see, they don't have details as far as how many people were polled. It just says it's a Quinnipiac poll, and 49% of Ohio adults say they are very interested or somewhat interested in Major League Baseball. So basically half the state says that they're fans of the sport. Among the half that is, 42% say the Indians are their team, while 34% say the Reds, 3% each for the Tigers, Red Sox, and Yankees, which kind of makes sense. You got those small percentages of the Red Sox and Yankees, Tigers, Pittsburgh, those are kind of, locational. But yeah, 42% they say for the Indians, 34% for the Reds. That's surprising. I'm with you. I thought it would be closer as I pulled this article up because I'm with you. A lot of places outside Northeast Ohio, there is a lot of Reds leaning and Reds tendencies.
And it's interesting to watch, especially, you watch the Twitter feed, some of the heartbreak of, struggling on a 500 up and down kind of team. You see these Reds fans going through the exact same trials and tribulations this year, especially that that Indians fans are going through. They've been a little bit of a streaky team as well, and it's interesting just to watch watch them sort of go through some of the same changes that the Tribe fans are accustomed to going through. It gives you that perspective that you're not in this all by yourself.
Real quick, a little bit off the topic, but the same grouping, same poll, and I find this interesting only because I talked before when nobody thought LeBron was even considering coming to Cleveland. I'm talking months ago when I was giving out percentages. I'm surprised because you would think with the way the media has promoted LeBron returning to Cleveland and making it seem like it's a 100% thumbs up across at least the city. Not so much across the state of Ohio. LeBron has gained in popularity. However, a similar poll asked, have you forgiven LeBron James as he comes back home? And 60-40 in favor of yes, but that's much closer than you would think based on a lot of the media and reports. It goes to show, and I kind of said that. I said, man, there's going to be a lot of people, if he comes back, that jump on board, but way more than you think that are not going to be on top of it. It's just they're not the ones that the media goes and finds for that little nifty clip on the news or those little highlights,
Yeah, I think you're right. And, I think that just like you and me, there are a lot of fans that are conflicted about the whole thing that, we've talked about it. I'm kind of glad that LeBron is coming to Cleveland, but that doesn't mean I've forgiven him for quitting on his teammates and his fans in the playoff series. So I've got mixed emotions about it, and I imagine a lot of people do. But you're right. Those aren't, it's sort of, crescendo going on here, momentum building and excitement for the team being good. And now that it looks like, actually, since you and I talked, it looks more and more like the Love thing is a completely done deal, and we're just waiting for the 30 days to expire. That's more and more signals coming out, pretty much undeniable signals, I guess, if from you confirm or deny that from where you're sitting, but from the league pulling back the Wiggins Cavs jersey to everything else going on, that is now just a matter of biding time, and that's going to be a done deal. But I think, there's momentum, but you're right. The media don't go looking for the guys that burnt their LeBron jerseys and haven't put them back on, haven't patched them up and put them back on yet. I'm
like
sure there's
Charles.
still plenty of those people out there. Yeah.
Charles said in the chat room, they tape them, they just don't air them. Those are the ones where they tape 6 people and 5 of them go, I'm not sure. And the one guy goes, yeah, I tattooed his name on my forehead. And that's the one that they show on the news, and they go, look, Cleveland loves LeBron so much, they're tattooing him on their foreheads, and I get, hey, listen, most people in Cleveland, we're talking statewide, and there's going to be a difference. I'm sure if you did that same poll in Cleveland, I'd guess it may lean more, maybe 70-30, but I still don't think it would be more than that. I have said all along that I think there's a solid 30-35% of the Cavs fan base, not the just the casual fan, the actual Cavs fan base that will always feel like what Dan said. And then maybe a year or two from now that goes away and once things seem legit. But especially, you're not going to tell a guy that's been through, just like Dan here, that's been through how long and seen athletes come and go and how many stories have flipped around. You're not going to come to town with a 1-year out clause in your contract and expect some of those people to just go, yeah, come on back, buddy. Of course there's going to be some, wait a minute. This isn't all that much different than 4 years ago. We're just benefiting from it now. Wait a minute, and there's
that's true. Like you say, the percentage of the negative people might be a smaller percentage in Cleveland. It's also a more intensely felt.
Oh
percentage.
Yeah, it.
Here, so it might be 70-30. Those 30 are diehard with their feet in their can. They're not going to be coming back anytime soon.
Absolutely. Hey, let's shift gears here a little bit while we're talking about diehards and crazy stuff. Of course, football, going on, and we joke about that, and people going nuts about guys that aren't playing even games yet. They're practicing, but had the family day scrimmage the other day, had stuff go down today too. But before we even get into that, I wanted to mention, you and I had talked about those conditioning tests going on, but the Browns confirmed today something that I thought I was right about before when we talked about that. But Phil Taylor himself actually admitted that he did get hurt doing the conditioning test. He had been recovering from a hamstring and was recovered. He re-injured himself doing that conditioning test. So I knew that he was one that I was told had actually gotten re-injured because of taking that test. Now, that's his fault for not being ready or not, that's whatever. But I knew that there were a couple that had actually been injured in the process of taking that test. He's one of them as he slowly works his way back in now this week.
Yeah, and what is the status? Would they talk about the nature of the injury, or
he's starting to work his way back into practice this week, and they're not sure yet if he's going to play this weekend. But I'm thinking he doesn't. I'm thinking since he's missed camp, they'll probably hold him out. But right now, he's saying he's hopeful to play, and it's up to the team. I'm pretty sure the team won't let him. Think about it. If he's only had a couple of days of practice, odds are he may not get out there against Detroit.
Yeah, that would stand to reason be the wise course, I guess. Physically, and I've just been catching little bits and pieces on my snail slow Twitter feed here about practice today.
Yes,
that seemed like me and Manziel got some reps with the ones. Manziel looked a little bit better, but the consensus I was seeing from my feed was that neither quarterback was, especially a 60-yard TD to Willie Snead, near the end of practice. But what else will be? Hey Jerry, tell me what the heck's going on, because I've been a little bit on what you heard about today's practice beyond that.
Well, here's where we're at. Looking at the weekend, neither quarterback looked exceptionally good the other day, although nobody really had a chance to. The rain kind of got in the middle of that thing and shortened things up. The defense, and before we even talk about Manziel and Hoyer, the defense is so far ahead, and they're really shutting a lot of this offense down that I've come to the conclusion that I don't care whether we're talking Hoyer or Manziel, we'll take that out of this. But, man, I'm hoping that what we're seeing is a sign that this defense is really, really, really good, because if not, either quarterback, I don't know what this offense is going to do, because they've had their ups and downs. And, and I'll say this about both quarterbacks, including Manziel. Neither one is going and taking this job. Today, Manziel was given the opportunity. He played with the ones throughout practice. Hoyer was with the twos, and it was arguably one of Manziel's worst days of practice that he's had yet. And I get that there's going to be some timing issues and stuff, but part of that is incredibly alarming to me because you are still raising the talent level a bit. You are still going with a starting level group of guys, and I know that there's going to be some issues with being off timing or whatever, but he looked poor today playing with the ones. Hoyer did not look good for most of today, but his last bit of practice, I would say, kind of gave him the day if you were judging the two. But Manziel has shown me that his one and only skill that leads him to having some success is running around with the ball, because in the pocket he has nothing right now, which he shouldn't, because he's never really been a real quarterback throughout his career here. So he's very poor there. The thing is that Saturday, after the family day, I had some people hit me up and go, "Hey man, you want to revise your adjustment on the quarterback thing?" And I said no, because all Manziel did was run around a couple of times, which we already knew he knows how to do. He missed some blocking things on the line, some audibles, and he would have got killed if they had been playing live ball. He made a few bad reads. He's missing a lot. He's missing play calls and changes at the line, to where if these things happen in an NFL game, that's when you get blown up and things go really bad, and you get those things that you go, man, that's embarrassing to even watch. That's how those things get blown up. That's why, no matter where Hoyer and Manziel are, Manziel is still going to start the season as far as I'm concerned, for the simple fact that even if he's not that much appreciably better, he's not going to miss like the simple basic stuff that blows up a drive before it starts. Manziel is not closing the gap, and Hoyer's giving him every opportunity to, and he's not closing the gap that much to where I'm worried about both of them at this point, and I'm just hoping that our defense is that good.
Yeah, that's the hope, of course, that the reason the offense can't do anything is because the defense is lights out. And I guess we won't really know a whole heck of a lot until at least this weekend when we see him play a football game and have a chance to judge that. And I think, even though it's sort of every year is going to be the Lions, they're certainly a representative team and, an average to above average NFL team that it's going to show us at least for a quarter and a half, answer your question for us and give us some read on where this team is offensively. Has there been a lot of talk about the running game and Tate and West? I mean, is it still looking as if it's going to be a very run-heavy kind of approach?
Oh, they're going to have to. And yes, that's definitely. I think a lot of that will be decided for us here, I'm hoping, today or tomorrow when the NFL wraps things up with Josh Gordon and makes the announcement, because that's going to make such a difference. That's one thing that I noticed. I got some texts from some people. I couldn't be at practice this morning. One thing that I was texted from a couple of different people is that in his team drills today, Manziel was highly caught almost every snap zeroing in, and they say this about Hoyer, but zeroing in on his first guy, it was pretty much Josh Gordon every time, and he was pretty much just locked in on Josh Gordon and making his first read every time, so that's something troublesome there too. I mean, I get it that it's why I think that I don't know. I'm surprised that neither one of them. I'm really Hoyer too, and there's something he is definitely. Camp is catching up to him, and I think that's part of it with both guys too. Is that you're getting to the dog days into the second week here before you start playing games and getting into the the more season prep of it. Is that perhaps you're seeing some arm wear down from both guys? I don't know, but even Hoyer, the throws are just not as crisp this week as they were last week, but I think you get that when you're throwing every day, when you're not throwing, in the normal regular season routine. But, the fact that he's not grabbing it when it's right there, and the fact that Manziel isn't either, is what is, I think, most alarming to me, and I keep going. I hope it's because of that defense.
Yeah, and, you expect a little bit of arm weakness, especially since some teams have 4 QBs in camp, and I don't know how many the third and or fourth string guys are getting, if it's still Connor Shaw, Tyler Thick, or whatever. But yeah, you got to expect a little bit of.
You better hope they don't play. I'm going to throw that out there for you, Dan. You better hope that the Browns do not ever get down to their third quarterback this season, because if it's Tyler Thigpen, I'm just telling you now that it's not going to be fun watching some football. He ended practice today throwing a couple of interceptions. He's been rough the whole way through, man. I got to tell